Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Jobless Weebs 144, which is a square of 12, which is pretty cool. Man, math class just bubbles up at weird times sometimes.
Dude, I'm an engineer and I didn't think about that. So that shows how much I care about my career on a day off.
Oh, yes. Well,
but now that you mentioned, yes.
Yeah, oh, yes. And I'm Brian. And this, of course,
Marco, the real Mexican.
The one and only. Very famous.
How are you doing, Brian?
If you believe it. Pretty good, yeah. I had a pretty nice week catching up to a lot of the anime for this season, so that's always a blast. Like Failure Frame and Days with My Stepsister, which is pretty interesting. And of course,
sure.
Oh yes, sure.
Moshi mosh.
No. And yeah, it was pretty good. And yourself?
I've been doing good. This week was actually pretty chill. I managed to finish some Beat Saber maps.
Nice.
That it's been kind of hard to like juggling the Beat Saber, the audiobook and the podcast. Is like, damn. I was like, I probably shouldn't have done that, but
it is quite a lot all at once. Yeah.
But I was also watching and catching up with some of the new anime.
Oh yeah.
I started watching Kimi no Todoke season 3. It's like after 14 years, it's finally back. And freaking Netflix, I'm gonna hand it to them. They did 1 hour episodes. It's 5 episodes, but it's 1 hour. So it's like
each
perfect. Mm-hmm. And the art style is perfect. That's like Sadako or Sawako.
Oh yes.
Sawako, like she looks amazing. It's like it's like I'm going back to my teenage years. I was like, yeah. I haven't finished the first episode yet because it's I cannot handle too much. Like my heart can just take like 20 minutes of sugar. And
it's too sweet.
It's definitely too sweet. It's like that puppy love, and there's still a part where it's this innocent love of like this teenage love, and it is something that I like about anime because some other like movies or live action series, it's always about grown up love. But anime has always characterized itself with the shoujo genre of being teenage love, like the first love or young love. Which is like
unrequited crushes.
Yeah, which is like the part that kind of like makes you feel butterfly the most because you're like, I wish I could have something like that.
Oh,
and instead you have more mature love, which is like, okay, that's also fine, but But this is shoujo.
This is shoujo. Yeah. Oh, I hear ya. It's so good. Kimi no Todoke. Yeah, it has a special place.
So yeah. Another one that I started watching, the most recent Batman from Amazon.
Oh, yes.
This one is, pretty similar to that Batman series back from the 90s. And it is pretty good. Though, two things. They gender band a few characters, and they also, race band a few others. So if that's a turn off for you, don't watch it. But if you don't mind, give it a try.
Yeah.
This movie, it's a lot more like like old school Batman. It's not the superhero Batman. It's the detective Batman. It's like there's still action-packed sequences, but most of it, it's like like from the 50s or 60s, kind of like set up with the characters acting that way and, kind of like mysterious and, it's Batman. So it's happening at night and it's like,
ooh, yes,
we better catch that bat. and it was good. It was good. Yeah. I liked it. If you can go past that point of like, oh, they changed the genders and they changed the race, it is good. You know, I can understand the people who will rant about that, and it's totally understandable. But if you go past that point and you know,
kind of appreciate it
if you appreciate the piece of art that this delivers, it's really good, because voice acting is great, art style is great, soundtrack is great, and you know, the episodes are 20-minute long, so they also have a good continuity into this happens at the beginning, and they you know, at the end, it's not like there's a cliffhanger. It's like, you know, like the old episodes from Batman. I think it's the same director or not. I actually didn't dig a lot into that. I just started watching it while I was doing some maps. And then I was like, oh, I'm watching and not mapping. So so I stopped it. But it was good. You know, it was good. But you know, for today we have a classic.
We do today. We have an anime that's really psychedelic, really well, there's some bits of like horror, but I would say more psychedelic thriller anime called Paprika. And oh boy, it is a wild one. It's before its time, really, 2006. So it is kind of like a 2000s movie. This one is also directed by...
It's by Kon Satoshi.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the same director of Tokyo Godfathers, which we talked about.
Godfathers, yep. Millennium Actress.
And Perfect Blue.
That's right.
Yeah, he also directed a few other, I think there's an anime series from 2000. I don't remember, honestly. But yeah, the director, sadly, he's passed away. He passed away in 2010.
Yep.
But you know, it
stands.
Despite his short career on anime, he was like
top notch.
Yeah,
seriously. Yeah,
like, hold my anime.
Yeah, yeah. It's incredible.
You know, out of all of his movies, they're like classics.
Yeah,
like Tokyo Godfathers. That's a Christmas
classic,
like anime classic.
Yeah.
Perfect Blue, Paprika. And Millennium Actress, those are also classics, and they all have these kind of like psychedelic and these enticing art style that just draws you in, especially Paprika, because Paprika delves a lot into dreams.
Yeah,
and you know,
and so it's very fluid. It has a very of course his style, but very fluid, like go in the dream sequences, and even some of the characters we'll discuss that.
Yeah, we'll touch base on that.
Yeah, they have this sort of like,
and you know, while it has not been admitted per se, this is like an Inception movie, but you know, with definitely probably less budget, and the story is a bit different. And you know, while the director from Inception, Christopher Nolan, has not, you know, admitted anything, or you know, made a comment regarding Paprika, a lot of anime fans have made a lot of connections between Inception and Paprika. But you know, so let's start from the beginning.
Yeah,
because this is a weird movie. The way it starts is that we have our main character. He's a detective. He's Detective Kanokawa. He's this right out of a comic detective, and he is going through a lot of movies. He is working on a case, a homicide case, and he's being helped by a lady.
And this is Paprika. She's helping him, trying to like get through his dream and figure out what the matter is, because he's having this reoccurring dream, and the detective, he goes through all these like replays of movies inside of his dream through a certain perspective, and then we end up like through a circus, through a train, and then we
like
end up
Tarzan.
Tarzan, yep. And then he ends up in a hallway where the victim is on the floor from the case he's working on, and and the perpetrator is running away out of the hallway. And then he starts running, but then everything starts to like fold in, like the hallway, and then he goes to the end of the hallway and basically like falls through or falls down. And it's really trippy. It's
and the dream sequence starts over again. And then we see this detective kind of like at a hotel room or of some sort, and it's talking with this lady, Paprika. They're in the hotel room. They have a laptop in here, and they are analyzing the dream. And you know, the lady is just like, hey, this is just an experimental. It's this piece of equipment. It's called the DC Mini.
Yeah.
It helps us mostly for psychological treatment. And you know, to go deep into the subconscious and figure out what's wrong. And you know, from this moment on, the detective was like hit by an arrow, and he's head over heels for Paprika. And he's like, when can I meet you? And I was like, I thought you had a problem, dude.
Yeah.
Here's my card. And she gives him the card. And the sequence from this, it's amazing. I love it. The music, you know, this kind of like techno music. Really enigmatic as well. And it goes from Paprika to a different person. A person that it's the complete opposite of Paprika. Because Paprika, you know, is this redhead.
Very upbeat type of
very
person.
upbeat type of girl. And then we cut to a part where there's a lady driving a car, and you know, she has black hair, very stern face. And she's just very like stern. You know, kind of like she's kind of like, I don't know. It's hard to express the emotions that she's portraying, because it's more like portraying that she has no such thing.
Exactly. That she's devoid of emotion, devoid of distraction. Very strong type of character. And Chiba, that's her name. So she goes to her destination, and then we find out there's a problem at her workplace, that the DC Mini was stolen by someone they don't know at this time. But then we also meet Shima on a phone call, and we see Tokita. They meet.
Tokita is...
he's a huge guy.
I can actually say the word. He's a fat guy.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah.
He is like the big. Was he Japanese?
I
mean, he did have like a Japanese name, but anyways, Tokita. It's not important. Tokita, he is the inventor of this apparatus.
Came up with the idea and basically invented it from scratch.
And the other thing is that this guy is a genius, but this guy, you know, it's this type of person who is a genius, but is an idiot. If you know what I mean. So it's like, like kind of like on paper, on, you know, the computer and stuff, technical stuff. He got the smarts. But on pretty much everything else, he is not. And he's stuck on the elevator because, you know, he's freaking huge. And Chiba helps him.
That's right.
And from there, we cut to another scene. And, you know, we'll come back on this part because this part is important.
We definitely will. Yeah.
We go to the part and the drama starts. Someone stole the DC Mini.
That's right.
And Chiba and Tokita boss, Dr. Shima, they are like looking for kind of like who was the one who stole it. And they're thinking that it's someone from, you know, the same company. And they're like, well, you know what? Tokita especially. Tokita is like, well, you know what? As long as they're not using it the wrong way,
the wrong purposes,
it's all right. And it's like, you just set off a big red flag, you know?
Big red flag there. Definitely. We also meet the chairman, the head of the company,
Yeah, Inui. Yeah, his name
yes,
is Inui.
Inui. Yep. But then trouble starts. The boss guy of Chiba, Shima, he kind of goes crazy here.
Yeah, they're talking with the boss. The big boss is telling like, you know what? If it was stolen, let's
shut it down.
Yeah, let's shut it down. No more, because we have some terrorists like Paprika. And I thought it was weird that right off the bat,
that they assume.
Paprika? He was like, "Oh, Paprika, terrorist," and Chiba is like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Oh, interesting.
But like the team is talking, cool. and Shima just starts mumbling and dancing, and
speaking nonsense.
Yeah, and
it makes no sense.
Real casually, he just jumps out of the way.
Right. Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's crazy.
They have a suspect though. Yes. His name is Himuro, and he used to be the assistant of Tokita.
That's right. And so they have this lead, and they think, we could probably go to his place and probably figure out what's happening. So Chiba and Osanai? Osanai and Chiba, they go over and they try to find out where he's at his apartment. But then they find his apartment empty with a whole bunch of dolls. And it's really creepy. Yeah, whenever, dude, like anytime you have a thriller movie and you see dolls, it's creepy as heck.
Yeah, that's nightmare fuel.
Yeah, it is. And so, like they think it's routine, like they're gonna find out what's happening, but then Chiba, she kind of she comes up to kind of a weird sequence of events here. She goes into the dream world at this point, but we only know of it when she goes down and like she sees like the amusement park, and she hops over, but it's actually like the real world and she was about to die. So So I thought that was kind of a weird sequence of events. Like I didn't really really think, oh, like this is important. I'm not sure, but it was I guess seeing how Chiba is like mixing the two worlds or something like that. At least that's what I thought.
Yeah, because little by little, you get this feeling that, I mean, you already know Paprika and Chiba are the same people. But sometimes in a lot of these shots, Paprika is talking with Chiba. Like a split personality.
Oh yeah.
So at the beginning, that's what I thought. I thought that Paprika was a split personality.
That's actually a pretty good.
Which it might not be that far off the mark, but like as you continue watching the movie, you notice that Paprika is just another self, and that doesn't mean that it's like a split personality. It's part of Chiba. Kind of like just saying that you are you and you cannot be any other way. Like you cannot be I don't know, like an extrovert or an introvert at the same time.
Okay.
Kind of like just labeling you as like, no, you can only be this way because that's Brian. And then like not leaving room for anything else of like the
subconscious.
Yeah, the subconscious or the personality of Brian.
It's very limiting. Very limited view.
And the way it is portrayed in here, it's that Paprika, it's for the time being, or at least that's what we think, is that Paprika, since it's the opposite of Chiba, it's just another personality. And it is mentioned.
That's fascinating.
That and rather, I thought that Paprika was kind of like the product of some sort of psychological, not illness, but something psychological. It was the result of Paprika. kind of like a defense mechanism.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
Which, as well, it might not be way off the mark as well.
Right.
But yeah,
true.
They kind of like are more sure now that Himuro might have been the culprit, but they're not sure yet. So they still decide to go into the dream world, and in this dream world of Shima, it's a parade. And I thought the parade was really good. And
with all the different elements and
I made some notes regarding the parade. Let me see.
Because they mentioned it was like a refrigerator and microwave leading the procession, something like that. But this is a psychedelic parade. Very loud, very boisterous.
Right. Yeah. Because I was, I decided to make a little bit of research, kind of like, what would this mean? And parades, and especially because the parade theme is a recurring thing in the movie.
That's right.
That just symbolizes the chaotic and intrusive nature of dreams and how they spill to reality. Because it was mostly like the mix of different psyches from the collective environment. Because one of the other things that we see a lot as well, besides parades and dolls, are mirrors. And butterflies.
Yes, butterflies.
And butterflies a lot of times mean change or transformation. Like something
transformation.
Something that like a metamorphosis, that it goes from the caterpillar to the butterfly, something that is changing to something more beautiful in a way. And the mirrors also represent those interactions that Chiba has with Paprika are always through a mirror.
Really? Oh,
so that kind of like expresses the duality of their of her own psyche. That it's not only, her reserved, stern self, but she is also Paprika. She is this outgoing, very peppy self.
Very peppy.
But
fascinating.
Going on. Or continuing with that thought.
We see Paprika in this. And in the parade, we see Shima. He's kind of like he's on the top of the parade. We see Paprika come and pretty much kick him out of the dream world in a very disturbing way. I thought that was really...
He did not kill him, though. Which, it's important to make a distinction. He just kind of like interacted with his dream body in a way that it caused him, I don't know, kind of like a shock.
I see. Right, because it basically she expanded his body until he popped, or exploded, which is like, whoa. But it makes sense. So then he's able to get out of this dream sequence and kind of wake up with his senses back.
Yeah.
Which is important.
Going forward a little bit more, they managed to find a possible place where Himuro might be. It is this abandoned amusement park, because they're like, oh, well, this is parade. Parades are really common to amusement parks. And she sees like that, I forgot the fat guy's name.
Tokita?
Yeah, she sees Tokita's shirt.
Oh, yes.
It's
the little
it's
guy.
A character,
it's a character
from this abandoned
place.
So they decide to go there.
Since they knew that there was history.
It's the exact same amusement park that Chiba was in the dream world the first time that she was going to jump out of the ledge of the apartment. And they're like, okay, he might be here. And, it's really creepy. All of this is really creepy because at least in the dream sequence, the amusement park was just, desolated, but it was like as good as new. But in this one is, destroyed. You see a lot of...
it's very decayed.
Plants growing up, and it's like, okay.
And it's very dark and creepy. Yep.
And out of nowhere, on the place where she sees a doll, the body of Himuro falls off, and she's just pretty much saved by herself when Paprika tells her, like, watch out.
Yeah. Oh, it's so weird. So they finally found him, but he's not all himself. Like he's also a little bit loopy, and kind of like still dreaming for himself. But yeah, it was such a scary sequence. Like this movie, I wouldn't say it's not for the faint of heart. It's just really, really creepy and
kind
of scary at times.
The thing with this one, with this type of thriller, because it's more of like a psychological thriller.
Yeah, it's a psychological thriller.
It's that it's in the daytime. A lot of thrillers, they take advantage of the dark.
Yeah.
To show this mystery behind what's happening, and in this, it's happening in broad daylight, which makes it a lot more creepier, especially because of the reactions that the community has.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because they take Himuro to the campus of the company, and they are analyzing his dreams, and it's just this endless parade. And the guy is like, with this creepy face, and they're like, oh yeah, no, there's something must be wrong. We gotta look further into it. And at the same time, at this company, some people are going cuckoo, just like in the same way as Dr. Shiva was going, and they're like la 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 la, and they are also like throwing themselves out of windows, most likely.
Oh yeah,
because you see how they're taking, like, a lot of ambulances are going to there. The detective, the detective is working on his own thing, but he's kind of like dragged.
Yeah, he's brought in this too, and I thought it was pretty funny when Chiba meets the detective Konaka, and he's blushing when he sees her. He's like, oh, okay. So I guess there's some sort of like strong connection, Chiba being Paprika and vice versa, but he recognized, or like he reacted that way. Oh, it was so funny. Yeah.
After that, they're wanting to go again one more time inside Himuro's dreams.
Yes.
But they're being stopped by the president. The president is telling them, like, nope, destroy everything.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to do this. Like, dealing with the dreams of people is dangerous. We're not going to do that anymore. That's a perfect, like a perfect act.
Oh, yes.
Because the guy was like, no, it's dangerous. Like, we should not be doing that. And then, like, couple minutes later, you're like, really, dude? Really?
Oh, yes.
But Paprika or Chiba still has to help the detective with his stuff.
Yes.
So he tells Tokita, don't do anything stupid. Like, you might be a genius. You might know how this work, but you're an idiot. Don't do anything.
Don't do anything
until I come back. And so she goes helping again the detective, and the detective is having, again, these same sequences.
Yeah.
And, it comes to a point where he starts opening himself up to Paprika. Because this whole time, all of his dreams are based off movies. Yeah. And he's telling her, I don't like movies.
Yeah, like, I hate movies. I don't want to do anything about that. And then also I noticed when he's going through these sequences again, that we see it from the other perspective. So we kind of see him as the actor in the dream, but also the viewer of the dream, of the movie dreams, I guess you could say.
Yeah, because his dreams are really also kind of like, inside a movie theater.
A movie theater. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he's actor and the viewer. So he's now seeing a different perspective of these dreams. And
the worst thing is that he's knowledgeable about, framing techniques
Oh,
and stuff.
yes.
And even himself is turning to kind of like a director and is
Yeah.
like explaining Paprika, like, yeah, this is happening and this is happening. And Paprika is like,
interesting. Tell me more.
Yeah.
So
sure.
you don't like movies?
Yeah, but the guy is still going
Yeah.
on, and he figures something out. He figures that in these all dream sequences that he was chasing himself,
yeah.
and that he killed himself.
Yes.
Like on the last part, kind of like on the hotel highway, when he's chasing, and there's like a body falling after being shot at.
It was himself that
he sees himself, because all this time, you as the viewer are thinking this is part of the case that he is solving. Like someone was shot at, like, and he was, chasing the culprit, but then like he's having trouble recognizing the culprit of whatever. But then no, like his dreams have nothing to do with the case. All of it is, his own trauma.
Yep, that's right.
And he opens himself up a little bit more. He's walking again through his subconscious, and it's just a highway that around you see a bunch of movie theaters with different titles.
Different titles, yep. So we pretty much find out that he was causing his own troubles with his trauma, as one does. That's how trauma works. But for him, it was in such a way that he can take control of the dream and basically end the dream for himself, because he realizes, he's dreaming, but he can also still act even after everything has been said and done. Like he sees the guy running away. Also, we know that he used to love movies. Like he made a movie himself, and he knows a lot, as we mentioned. But at the end sequence of his dream, where he's in the hotel corridor, he basically takes aim, and he realizes for himself that yes, he can end the dream, and he shoots the one who's running away. And so now he's like liberated from his looping of dreams and stuff, his trauma.
Yeah, like he's reaching to that point.
Yeah.
And then he continues talking with Paprika, and they're in the they're at the theater, and it is like, as this is happening, like Tokita, he's like, I'm gonna teach her that I can be useful.
It could be a
and
big
so
boy.
he goes inside the dream of Himuro, and he pretty much gets taken over.
Basically,
just to make it short, he just taken over.
Yeah.
He becomes part of the parade.
Yeah.
And
as a robot.
As a robot.
Yeah.
And then the weirdest thing begins to happen. This dream from Himuro, it's now merging into the dream of the detective. Because the parade like barges in
through the movie theater.
Through the movie theater. Screen. And even the director is like, oh, please tell me I'm not this messed up. He's like, no, it's not you, it's everyone else.
It's like a collective dream now.
She's like, Paprika spots Tokita, and he's like, you idiot. Like, I told you not to do it. I was like, oh, no, don't worry. We're happy. We're doing great. Like, come on, let's enjoy.
Join in, yeah.
At this point, Paprika wakes up, or kind of like leaves the detective's dream to go to Shima and tell him like, this idiot did something stupid.
We gotta
now save him.
And the only way to do
this is the climax. Yeah, this is the climax, because she was in this part. She was thinking of herself as like the savior.
Yeah.
She thought like she was the one and only, and so she goes into this dream, and she's you as a viewer are able to spot a lot of things. For one, that the city where the parade was going in this dream world, you see a lot of things. I forgot. Then she goes kind of like into a dark alley. And kind of like goes into a forest and finds a statue of Osanai.
Oh, yes.
And then she goes deeper and she finds the shell of Himuro completely empty.
Yeah.
But, it's kind of like kind of like this organic material, like a shell, like a shell, really creepy still.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And when she goes out from there, there's a tree. And the tree has the face of the director of Inui.
Yep.
And she is like, oh no, because the director, then the tree director, the tree Inui face starts
to catch her.
Tries to catch her with his roots. And she's like, no, wake up.
No way, wake up. And then we go to the scene of Chiba on the gurney on the bed. And she wakes up. And oh boy, this is when I nearly lost it when I was watching it. They go, she tells Shima, they go to the director, and then they basically tell him, hey, like, we know what's going on, and you're the one who's to blame. And then we see him get out of his wheelchair, and then the roots are sprouting from his legs.
Dude, that was so creepy.
And we realize they're still in the dream.
Yeah, she was like, I'm still dreaming. And the Dr. Shima, it's in reality, it's Osanai. And he's like, you don't want me to be rough with you. And she was like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
so it was
she's in danger. Like, run.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Because like you have Shima, how he's like, please wake up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's
this next sequence, it's great. It's creepy. It's a bit disturbing as well.
Oh yes.
Because all of this chasing and up to the point where Paprika is pinned down.
Yes. Yep.
Quite literally.
Oh gosh. Like a butterfly. She's a butterfly. Yeah. Oh
and well,
it's such a crazy.
Now that you mentioned, and since we mentioned the butterflies before, I found it interesting.
Yeah,
because like you would normally think, like when we're talking about like the metamorphosis of a butterfly, you think of it as the caterpillar to a butterfly. But in this case, when Osanai was being rough. He went from butterfly to kind of like the caterpillar to was Chiba.
Fascinating.
When he kind of like started being rough, literally,
and splits her open.
We might or might not have a clip of this because I don't want problems with YouTube.
Oh right, yeah.
He like rating. he just like press his head just below her stomach and kind of like as if trying to break up something, like he completely splits
Paprika
up and just leaving Shiba. And the detective is, for some reason, is able to see this through one of his theaters.
Through one of the theaters, yep. And so he sees her like that, knows she's in danger. So he starts trying to go through the screen. He goes in and basically saves her. But it was such a disturbing part.
It was, especially because this guy's ambition, especially because this was the handsome guy.
Yeah, right.
Right. He was the type of person that you would have expected to end with the girl, but no, he was the creepy dude stalker that he just wanted Dr. Shiba's body.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And when he was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have it in my dreams, and and the president is like, what are you doing, idiot? It's like this is not part of the plan. Like, control yourself.
Oh yeah.
He's like, oh come on, he's like, you had a problem
fighting
with Paprika, but she was fine. Like, just let me have her. It's like, no, you. And they're like ranting and everything.
Yeah.
The detective
is able to
able to rescue her.
Mm-hmm.
And one more time, they go through the same dream sequences.
Oh, yes.
And Osanai now it's joining in and jumping in in these dream sequences. And, they're going all over again.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the detective is having flashbacks, kind of like part of his trauma that it's about to be resolved.
Yeah.
And he hears a voice. And it's a voice saying like, are you going to leave it at that? Or something like that. I'm paraphrasing.
Oh, yes.
And
basically.
And, when he reaches the part of the hotel.
Oh, yes.
Osanai thinks like, you know what? I'm going to use your trauma against you. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to escape.
Yep.
And, this is the best part because this is where the detective is like, no, I'm going to finish. Like, I'm going to finish the movie. Now,
that's like, when it
this is where it ends.
Uh-huh.
And he shoots.
Yep.
Osanai. Yeah. And he kills Osanai.
Yeah.
and it's not so weird. Cool. It's kind of like part of like the dream world. Like if you die in the dream world, you die in the real world. Because that's what happened. Like he was shot, and Osanai was like, that hurts.
Yep.
And the guy was like, now it's over. Yeah. And I was like, that felt like a movie. Even the shot, he just like
the shot,
like ends up kissing. So cool. Shiva, and Shiva wakes up and
finally
she's like about to slap the detective, but it's Shiva
instead. Oh my gosh, everybody has crushes on her. So funny. Yeah, epic part. And then we go back to the director and Osanai, and we start seeing that the dream world is starting to merge with reality. And because they're out of the dream, but still things are going crazy. The parade comes out into the real world. The dolls are there. And
people are going cuckoo as well.
Oh, yes. Tons of people going crazy.
They're making jumping out of ledges of buildings like a sport.
Oh, right. Yep. And they start getting chased by the huge Hina doll. The huge doll. And it's a scary part because things aren't as they seem anymore. We also see Tokita as the robot in the real world. And he's a little cuckoo here too. And Paprika comes out and helps them in the real world. So it's a crazy part, crazy sequence. And then
from this part it's just wacky because you have reality and illusion merged together. So it's hard to make a reference of like philosophically what's the meaning of this.
Oh yeah.
But anyways, going on.
Oh yes.
As they're being chased by this Hina doll, Paprika appears.
Yep.
And even Shima is like, what the heck?
Right.
It's like you
Paprika and Shiba at the same time.
You or me. You cannot be here.
Yep.
And Paprika is like, don't sweat it.
Don't sweat it. Yeah. It's so
but a crucial part happens, when they jump into the TV.
Oh yeah.
When they see Tokita, that it's kind of like going rampant after they're saved from the Hina.
Oh yeah.
Where Chiba she wants to go to Tokita, kind of like to snap him out of it.
Yeah.
And Paprika is like, no, we're gonna go somewhere else. And she has this argument with herself. These two personalities clashing each other, of in a way telling it like, no, there's no way that one person can have multiple personalities,
right,
or multiple psyches,
right, yeah,
because they were kind of like clashing, and then she decides to go, Tokita and Paprika
Yes.
and Shima, they decide to go, to keep running somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And Shima decides to talk with Tokita, and Tokita, is kind of like out of it,
Yeah.
and ends up eating her.
Oh yes, yeah.
And he just says,
so weird.
This part was important because he just says like,
there wasn't
it's like,
much to it.
It's like, it's missing something.
Mm-hmm.
I might need some paprika.
Yeah, I need some spice paprika. Yeah.
He just like gave the answer, and this is for the end of the movie. But when everything is said and done, and now the director turns into Aaron Jagger and a freaking titan and starts doing some evil stuff like, I'm gonna make this world my world.
Gonna rule the cosmos. Yeah. Crazy guy.
Then Paprika is like, I don't think we're gonna get out of this. I don't know how we can do it.
Right.
Then Tokita comes crashing into a building.
Oh yeah.
And you see kind of like an spectral
Chiba
version of Chiba.
Yeah, goes over
that is helping.
Yeah.
And it goes back to
the very first time we meet them.
First time that it was caught. Because we just saw Shiba getting Tokita out of it, but then we didn't see anything else.
Right. And then now we see the whole flashback where she's supporting him after getting him out of the elevator in this flashback. And then she basically tells him, hey, like, I'm here. Even though you are the way you are, like, I'll support you. And we now realize
it's that matters. But you're definitely not there on the outside.
Oh yeah.
It's like, damn.
Harsh. Yeah. Yeah.
It's in this moment that it clicks into Paprika, like, oh no, like we can solve this, but kind of like that was also kind of like a repressed trauma from her, because even though it was said at the beginning of the movie that the DC Mini was used on Shiba to cure her from her trauma, we never know what that trauma is, and we also don't know if Paprika was part of it or came into existence after or before it. But then this is part of Shiba's kind of like physique of like, you have to coexist with all your personalities or like your whole self. You have to accept you as a whole. Like you have to accept that you have your moments where you are kind of like reserved, stern. You also have to accept the fact that you can also be bubbly and peepee and stuff.
Right.
And so she pretty much goes inside the robot.
Oh yeah.
And
basically
really
comes out as like a baby.
It's a baby that it's eating the dreams or kind of like reality also.
Oh yes.
And it's growing up. And the director is like, who there's destroying my world? He's like, I'm gonna kill you. And as he grabs like Paprika's spectral version self, Paprika starts eating him, and he's like, no.
Such a way crazy moment. You know what I was reminded of when I was watching that particular part? Near Automata. Just like the whole lore behind it and everything.
Oh.
And also the very beginning Dragon.
Drakengard.
Yeah, Drakengard. And how it ends in a very, very, very convoluted way when you go onto Earth and then there's the dragon. And anyway, I was reminded of Near Automata. I was like, wow, this is real weird. But now reality fixes itself. Reality is back.
The destruction is still there.
What is
like the destruction is still there? Don't get me wrong, but
everything's still destroyed. But yes, the director chairman, he's defeated. Yeah,
and then we move to Tokita. He wakes up and he's like, "Hey, how's everything?" He's like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say funny, but I just found it interesting that he's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, Tokira is fine, but like, how many people actually died in this movie? Because
Oh yes,
a lot of people died.
a lot of people are not fine. No.
But yeah, I guess that's for another time, I guess.
Oh sure.
And yeah, Shima pretty much confesses to Tokita, and I don't know about you, but there are not that many movies where the fat guy gets the girl.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
That just gave me a little hope.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Yes. It has a great ending for that. Yes.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, the detective and Dr. Shima are like, did we just get rejected?
We got rejected. Yep. Oh my goodness.
The detective also has closure.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yes.
Like, kind of like to finish it up with the cherry on top.
Mm-hmm.
He has a conversation with his kind of like his dead friend.
Yeah.
He says like, hey, I'm sorry I left the movies.
And,
because his friend, I think he died because of an illness, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And
So
and the way and the reason behind his dreams of why he killed himself, it was because he killed that part of himself that wanted to
make movies.
Yeah.
And it's a real thing. Like when you like choose not to do something or something that you were dreaming about or your dream and you cut it off, you still have to grieve for that. You still go through, you're going to miss it. And he definitely did.
Yeah. And his friend was like, hey, don't worry about it. He's like, all those cop movies that we made, you just became your own movie.
Yeah, you became the detective. Yeah,
and it's like you're still directing. You can still direct it. You're just like the director and the actor at the same time. And that was the reason of why he was able to see so many perspectives of his dreams.
Yes.
Very,
very.
And
well
at the end, he still goes to that web page of dreams.
Oh yes, yeah.
And he receives a letter from Paprika and he's like, Dr. Shima she's gonna change her last name.
Oh yes.
but I've heard that you actually solved your case, so congratulations. And kind of like,
it is a really cute letter. Yeah, so funny.
So all in all, it had a great ending.
Yeah,
and a lot of representation.
Yeah.
And again, it does a lot. This is definitely like a psychological / philosophical thriller.
Definitely, yeah. And a tribute to movies in general, like a love letter almost to making movies. I really liked that part.
Yeah. Man, but yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
So next one.
Oh yes, next one. No.
No, another time, maybe.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, no, we said next time my garbage anime.
Oh yes, we'll be doing.
Well, next time is gonna be another episode of this.
Oh yeah,
but after that,
that's right.
My garbage anime.
Yes. Well, thanks for joining me in watching Paprika. It was definitely a ride.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah,
we'll keep watching anime.
Yep.
We'll see you next time.
Matane.
Matane.